Good morning. Happy Thursday. Hope your week is headed towards a good ending. We have been in Hebrews chapter 10. About a week and a half ago, I jumped to the end of Hebrews 10, not certain how I did that. We looked at the very scary section there that seems to suggest at a surface reading that a Christ follower can lose their salvation. And I said, no, I don't think so. And I explained how I understand that passage. But I said, again, I don't want to be the person that gives you a get-out-of-jail-free card that sort of lessens some of the punch of some of these passages that suggest we need to, double down. We need to be obedient. We need to run hard after God. So I went back and we went into the middle of Hebrews chapter 10 and we looked at these passages, the big Grand Canyon, the therefore, and in light of who Christ is, therefore let us draw near to God. Let us hold fast to the hope that we have in Christ. Let us encourage one another to love and good deeds. So we were looking at that section. So we now jump to Hebrews chapter 11, which is often referred to as the Hall of Faith. Instead of the Hall of Fame, it's the Hall of Faith. It's got a list of a bunch of people who get celebrated, a bunch of Old Testament people who are celebrated for their faith. It's very clear when we look at this list, these are not people who were perfect by any means. They were, however, people who placed their faith in God. Now, what is faith? Obviously, it's an enormously important idea. We're told that we are saved by grace through faith, not of ourselves. It's a gift of God. We're told that the just shall live by faith. We are told that without faith, it's impossible to please God. It's a big idea. It's a very important and significant idea, but I think it's often a very misunderstood idea. So today and tomorrow, I want to push on a couple things that faith is not. And today I simply want to say, faith is not believing things that you know are not true. We're thinking here about biblical faith. It's worth noting everybody has faith. Even people that say they don't have faith have faith. We believe a lot of things that we don't know are true. We have to. That's just the way society and life works. I sit down, I'm sitting in a chair. I have faith the chair will hold me up. I have faith that most people know to drive on the right-hand side of the road when they're in the United States. I have faith. I don't know how airplanes work. I mean, I can explain the principle of lift. I get it, but I don't really get it. But I have faith that a lot of things that have worked in the past are going to work. I mean, there's a sense in which we all have faith. We're thinking about biblical faith, which is often dismissed by those that are more elite or refined or educated. They look down on the idea of hope or belief in God. So I remember rereading the quotes by H.L. Mencken, who was a popular newspaper columnist and a fairly prominent skeptic, atheist back in the 19th, early 20th century, I believe. And he said that faith, he was writing, dismissively of Christian faith. And he says faith is the illogical belief in the impossible. Or maybe it was just the improbable. But whatever it was meant to be, sort of casting aspersions at the idea of faith. So let me say this. Faith is not being expected to believe things that you know are not true. It does require humility. It may be that there are things I don't understand how this works. So we as rational beings, as people made in the image of God, there are 4 different ways that our understanding of the world gets shaped. These 4 sources of authority. This is the field in philosophy of epistemology. How do we know what we know? And so we recognize 4 different sources of authority, we as Christians. One is reason. God has given us the ability to think, and we are expected to think. Secondly is tradition. We learn things from the past. There is to use Chesterton's term, the democracy of the dead. There are reasons to believe that people in the past might have understood things we don't understand. And these things get handed down to us. Certainly as young children, we believe almost entirely on the basis of this is what our parents tell us. A A third is our experiences, which can bleed into intuition. But the fourth is revelation. We believe God has revealed things to us. And these things are recorded for us. These things are revealed to us in various ways. And so the Bible is a big source of revelation. And I believe that in the end, when all truth is known, that we will discover that the Bible, the original 66 books, in their original autographs, properly interpreted, is always true, never false in what it claims. I don't always know how to justify some of these different sources of authority right now, but these things will get worked out. Faith is not believing things that you know are not true. We'll look at something else faith isn't tomorrow.